going, everybody? I'm the Nickel City Nightmare, Derek Joswiak. Welcome to episode 1 of the Joz of Life. This year is going to be my own personal podcast or vlog, however you want to view it. I'm going to try to put one of these out every week, and I'm going to cover a wide array of topics and just kind of be my views in the world. And what this is going to be is, there's a lot of stuff out there right now about just nonsensical bullshit. All right, the first thing I'm going to warn you guys is I do swear, and that's not going to change. All right, so be careful watching this at work, stuff like that. You're going to hear some F-bombs. You're going to hear me swearing a little bit here and there. I started getting the idea to do this because I was working and doing a podcast. A friend of mine, for my MMA career, but he mostly covers professional wrestling from WWE all the way down to some of the more local stuff. And I got a lot of positive response from people who watched it and saw what was going on, and they were kind of a fan. So I've decided, I'm going to see what else is out there on the internet, and kind of troll through YouTube. And what I end up seeing is a lot of just nonsensical crap. I watched like 9 or 10 episodes of this thing called Batman and Spider-Man or something like that, and I swear to God, this was a waste of half hour of my life. Just poor animation, no storyline, just obnoxious, stupid shit. So I wanted to start something that I can talk about things that are either important to me, some things that piss me off from time to time, because God knows, if you know me, that's something that happens. I'm a little bit of an angry guy at times. I just wanted to shoot some things, throw some opinions out there, and, kind of get it out there and see what's up. So, this is a short little intro to what's going on. I'm going to cover this is essentially topic 1, is what is the Joz of Life. For those, Joz, J-O-Z, my last name, that makes sense. Pun, the Joz of Life, the Joz of Life. If you're not following, tune out, because that's pretty basic. I'm going to cover a wide array of topics, from sports to things in the fitness industry to probably more sports, the occasional hot topic. I'm going to try to stay off politics, because God knows most politics are stupid. Some of it will be off the cuff. Some of it will be pretty controversial. You may not agree with everything I have to say. I'm going to try to keep it entertaining. But when it comes down to it, I'm a pretty opinionated guy and a pretty intelligent guy for the most part. So I'd like to think that anything I pose, I bring a good argument up for. So, here you go. Hopefully you guys enjoy what I got going on here, and let's get started with the real deal. All right, guys, here we go with my first actual topic of episode 1. It happened last night. It was a thing that millions and millions of people watched. The commercials were more heartstring tuggers than, funny and obnoxious like we've seen in the past. It was the damn Super Bowl. All right. And the Super Bowl, usually for your average Joe, means a ton of food, good amount of booze, friends, talk, laughter. Had all that in my life last night. Also had a couple people snoozing on the couch for it. Now here's my thing. There are people out there who give the Super Bowl a lot of flack, who give the NFL a lot of flack. But I'm going to drop a little knowledge on you here. 6 of the last 8 Super Bowls have been fantastic games. Fun to watch, start to finish. This one, it was awesome. The Eagles were in it from Jump Street, and they ended up having to come down and do what they needed to do at the end to win it, and then stop the best of the best at comebacks. A guy who came back from down 18 last year at halftime, a game that everyone thought was over. This dude had a minute to get downfield, which we've seen him do thousands and thousands of times, and they stopped him. He didn't even get a first down. He literally did nothing. It was, you can't say he didn't get a first down. They did have a last minute shot, but when you make that team throw up a Hail Mary and don't let them just march down and do their thing, I'll call it a win for everybody. And for everybody, I literally mean the Eagles won that game for everyone, because we're so tired of hearing about the friggin' Patriots and how damn good they are. Because you know what? Yeah, they are good. It's a great system. Fantastic coaching. I'm not a fan, but you got to respect what they do. But here's my thing. Every single time you see the Patriots in the Super Bowl, you get a very distinct sect of people who tune out, unless they're playing the team that they're cheering for. The Patriots have lost that thing where people watch to hope they lose because they just usually don't. All right, we're just so used to seeing the Patriots win that people aren't interested in the hope that they might lose, which means some people missed a hell of a ball game last night. But the Super Bowl, in my opinion, is probably the second greatest major sports championship in our country. I'm not going to get into soccer and World Cup. Here's my shout out to Adam Weepert on the World Cup and the soccer stuff. It's probably the last time you hear me talk about it. However, when you're talking about like real deal best championships, the Stanley Cup is always fun, but hockey just doesn't garner the following that a lot of the other major sports do. I think the best postseason going right now is baseball. There's nothing that beats baseball in the World Series. It's just every year, no matter who's in it, it's exciting. And because we haven't seen a team like the Yankees in it year after year after year, it's becoming a lot more popular. When Tom Brady finally dies and Belichick retires and that dynasty is done, it's going to be fantastic for football. Because the whole world is just tired of hearing about, are the refs cheating for the Patriots? Are the Patriots cheating this? Are they doing that? Tom Brady's so good. Tom Brady's so good. Tom Brady's so good. You know what? Tom Brady is good. The stats back it up. The dude wins. He's a champion. I want to know what a dude like Phillip Rivers would have done in that system. A guy who has had how many head coaches, how many different systems, how many different supporting cast members with different schemes and everything else. The Patriots have kept the same general concepts going over and over and over again. They bring in a coach, they say, we're going to run this style of game, and we're going to be perfect at it. And you know what? The world is tired of seeing the Patriots on top of the heap. It's just a thing. We all got to see them lose last night. It was fantastic. If you didn't watch it, you messed up. You fucked up, flat out. And I'm sorry, but we need other teams than the Patriots to be that good. We need the Patriots to take a step back. It'll be better for the sport. It'll re-garner interest, and it will finally be able to shut the hell up about all the conspiracy theories about the Patriots. So please, if anybody out there with any kind of pull, Brady needs to retire, Belichick needs to go to another team, something, break up the dream team and figure it out. Sidebar, I'd also like to see how good Brady would be outside of Belichick's system. We've seen other quarterbacks come through and do fantastic. As a Patriot, go elsewhere and just flounder around the league for a few years before they fall off. Hopefully Jimmy G, who Belichick thought was the heir apparent, breaks that mold and the Niners become relevant again, aside from Colin Kaepernick. And again, I'm not getting into politics. We're not going there, so calm down. My other point about the Super Bowl here, that halftime show, I expected far better. I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, it was so good. It was fantastic. Was it just me, or was JT really not singing all that much? He was half dancing, like partially singing certain parts here and there. I think it's some of the best Super Bowl halftime shows I've ever seen. He was part of one of them. It was NSYNC, Nelly, Britney Spears, Aerosmith, like that whole crew. What was that? Somebody help me out here. It was like 2001, 2002, something like that. When you had this huge conglomerate of all these stars. It was great. No, we got to watch Justin Timberlake half sing, half dance. There was a point when that dude put on such a great performance at an award show, people were starting to call him the next Michael Jackson, that his performances were so good, his voice was so fantastic, and his dance moves were so on point that he was going to give the original King of Pop a run for his money. And now this dude, I don't know if it was the clothes he was wearing, he could barely move. I don't know what the deal was, but I was not impressed. And for what it was, I expected better. I was also a little distracted by the fact that there was somebody who, and this is a pet peeve of mine, maybe we'll get to it in another segment, was Snapchatting the entire performance. If you want to watch something and you're that excited, put the damn phone down. Like, why are you watching it through the tiny screen on your phone to make sure that you get the whole thing screen, like in the screen, so you can put it on your Snapchat? Why not just watch it? Like, why not just, like, do this and watch the damn thing? Like, I wanted to reach over and slap her, but I was too dumbfounded. I was like, that dude's not singing. She's going nuts in Snapchat. Like, what do I do with my hands? Like, what do I normally do with my hands? All right, so I think our halftime shows and our commercials need to turn it back up. The football game, stay where you're at, man. If 6 out of 8 are that fantastic, I'm on board. You're doing something right. All right, guys. Now to my next topic. This one probably gonna ruffle some feathers. Okay, this is something that is not just something that annoys the hell out of me, but it's something that I think we need to address as a society because it's something that really like speaks to the mental health of people just around the world. All right, and it starts with insecurities. Okay, the topic here, I'm gonna fill you in right off the bat. The topic here is Photoshop and filters. Okay, you all know what I'm talking about. We've all seen it on Snapchat and Instagram. The people who, every time they post a selfie, they have the little bunny ears or the antlers or the glasses or whatever the fuck they have going on at that time on Snapchat. And the thing that bothers me about it is the reason that people use these isn't because they think, maybe they do think that they look cute as a bunny or a panda, but a lot of these filters fix blemishes. Okay, they smooth out your skin a little bit. They fix it. They brighten your eye color. They do whatever it is that they do magically, and all of a sudden, like, oh, look how fantastic I look. It looks like I'm sparkling. No, the filter's sparkling. You're not. Maybe you are. Maybe you're just a sparkly person. Maybe you're a vampire from a stupid fucking book in a movie. I don't know. I'm not. And then that stems me into the Photoshop thing. Okay. And this whole thing starts with people going on stuff like Instagram and stuff like that and seeing these Instagram models and stuff like that who are fake tan, fake tit, fake ass, operations out the ass, injections out the ass. And then they take these pictures and then they look airbrushed. And they're airbrushed, they're touched up, they're fixed to look perfect, to look flawless. And your normal average run-of-the-mill human being says, holy shit, this person posted this picture, has 8 billion likes. I want to do that. I want to come. Like, they must be so important. They must have so much value that all these people like what they see. I need to do that. And it causes these people to have insecurities about themselves. So then you take a picture and, oh, I don't like how that looks. I don't like how this looks. And they're like, oh, okay, we're going to brush that up a little bit. We're going to, smooth that over. We're going to smudge this just a hair. And then next thing you know, it's like, how'd you grow 6 inches? Like, listen, and we're talking about a guy who's 30 years old, who's bald. I physically cannot grow hair on the top of my head. I'm starting to get white beard hairs, okay? I know I'm not the most fantastic looking human being on the planet, but I would rather look like me and sit here, in this case, stand here in front of you guys as a real person than lie to myself. Okay? Because, if you look at me and you think I'm fat, you think I'm ugly, you think I'm stupid, go ahead. It's really not going to ruin my day. Realistically, if you're watching this far, something I'm doing or saying interests you a little bit. There's a ton of people out there I know who, like, if you don't like me, but you follow everything I do, you hang off every word I say, and you have an opinion about everything about me, bitch, you're a fan. All right? You might hate me, but you're a fan. Okay? So, here's my thing. You don't need to Photoshop your pictures. You don't need to remove things or change things or modify things. You don't need to stretch them or bend them or contort them in any way. You know why? Because the only person who it should matter to how you look is you. Like, you're the only one whose opinion matters here. Okay? If you look and if you're on some journey to lose weight, okay, and we've all been there. Some of us are still there. It's been a while, but I'm still here. Okay? And you're not quite where you want to be. That's okay. Shit happens. All right? Life happens. When I started my fitness journey 2 years ago, my goal was to get down to my high school football playing weight of 255. The lowest I've seen on a scale so far is 292. Some of that is because I really like pizza and tacos and burritos and chicken fingers. And I could go on and on all day about the crappy food that I enjoy eating. All right? Some of it's because I've had some shit happen in my personal life. All right? There was a point where I was well on track and powering through the 290s. In a week, I went from 300 to about 295, I think it was, and was on a track down. And then some things happened in my personal life, between, some job problems and a relationship issue and everything else. And next thing you know, I'm living in my parents' basement, which this is not my parents' basement in case anybody's wondering. And I'm drinking 4 or 5 nights a week again, and all of a sudden the weight goes right back on. All right, and I haven't gotten there. The goal is still there. All right, and I'm on my track down to at least 265, so I can fight in the heavyweight division for MMA and not just stay in the super heavyweight division to give myself a little bit more competition. But here's the thing: I'm okay. Like, am I happy with it? Am I happy that I haven't reached that goal yet? No. But am I gonna like lie to myself, to lie to a bunch of people whose opinions, like, at the end of the day, don't make or break me or who I am, and it doesn't change the fact of where I'm actually at? No, I'm going to present myself as I am and who I am. Okay, and it's something that everybody else, like, not everybody else, because there are people out there who don't do this stuff, whatever. And I'm speaking to people, and I'm trying to talk to you in from a helpful standpoint. Okay, you don't need to Photoshop. You don't need to have the world tell you how fantastic you look. You need to be able to say that to yourself. You need to be able to talk to you. You need to talk to you and hit yourself right here to tell yourself that you have worth and you have value. And and if you won't do it, I'm gonna do it right now. So pay attention, listen up, and looky here. Okay? Your value is not dependent on your physical appearance. If you're on a weight loss journey, it should be for you. Not for anybody else, not for Instagram likes, not for nothing. If you want to stuff your face, and I've been there, so I'm speaking from experience. If you want to sit around, do nothing, stuff your face with pizza and cookies and cake and chips and dip and junk and stuff, and it makes you happy, then who gives a shit? All right? If you want to be happier, what am I doing right now with my face and the talking? If you want to be happier and you want to be healthier and you want to feel good, and you want to lose weight, and you want to go through like some of the misery of eating clean, then do it. But do it for you. Don't do it so some asshole that doesn't know you on Instagram go, "Oh my God, girl, you look so good." Or, "Bro, you're really crushing it. Look at those biceps." Ugh. Like, no, do it for you. All right? That's the only person you should be doing this shit for. All right? And don't fall into something I fell into where somebody looked at me and said, "You know what? I don't want to be with somebody who weighs 400 pounds and I can't get my arms around." Because that was one of the reasons I started losing weight and I started cutting back. The other part was my back, but that's another story for another day. All right, do it for you. Do it for your health and your well-being. And by photoshopping pictures, you're going to go back and you're going to look at that picture and say, "Why did I look so lean here?" And I'm like 4 days later, I don't look so lean anymore. Because Photoshop isn't real. Filters aren't real. Live your life, #unfiltered. I'm starting now, #unfilter your life. All right, guys, here we are back on track. Hood's back up. Head got a little cold. Downfall of not having hair. My next topic, all right, this one kind of hits home for me a little bit, and it's something that everyone has not only done, but also fallen victim to. It's a dual-edged sword. We've all done it. We've all been on the receiving end of it. Bullying. All right? We see it every day. We see it on the internet. We see it in person. We see it in schools. We see it in the workplace. We see it literally everywhere. All right? And I'm not talking about like joking, ribbing, and friends busting balls with each other where it's all in good fun and everybody's laughing and having a good time. And even though that can cross the line sometimes, I'm talking about actual full-blown bullying. The stuff that makes somebody go home and want to shoot themselves in the face. All right? And I'm not making light of that. I'm not making a joke of that. All right? Because, again, we've all been there. To some extent, we've all been there. And if you've never been pushed to that point by being bullied, but you've, ribbed some people and you've, thrown your shots and thrown your jabs and been relentless on somebody and you don't think that haven't gone home and thought about it themselves, you're probably lying to yourself. Okay? Here's a thing that bothers me. This is something that people like to talk about when it's a hot button topic. Okay? We talk about these things when some kid, some poor soul goes home and takes their own life, or just as bad, goes to school and tries to take a bunch of other lives. All right, we've seen it since Columbine. We've seen kids that have been ridiculed and mercilessly teased and outcast from everybody, and one day they just snap and go off, and all of a sudden now it's, what could we have done? It's, it's the parents, it's the music they listen to, it's the violent society we live in, it's the video games, no. When somebody has been pushed and pushed and pushed, and they've taken different routes and everything else. And you can find countless stories on the internet, and whether they're true, whether they're not, of kids that are bullied and everything else, and then their parents have gone to the principals and the authorities and everything else, and nothing gets done. And next thing you know, that kid either ends up getting their ass beat or beating someone's ass, depending on who it is. And then you try to go after the kid who defended himself. And there was an instance, and you can find this video on YouTube, where this larger boy is getting picked on and picked on and picked on and picked on by this smaller kid who's picking on him for being fat and ugly and whatever. And the big kid finally has enough of being poked and prodded, because they were literally physically poking him in the stomach, that he grabs this little shit and, circa Kevin Nash 1994, power bombs this little bastard, and he lands on some kind of like curb of some kind or something. I think he snapped his arm in like nasty. It was pretty badass if you're that kid. And people were up in arms that this kid defended himself. And then it came out that, he had gone home in tears a few times, and his parents had talked to the school and everything else. And the school tried to suspend the big kid for defending himself. Now, I'm not saying somebody walks up to you, pokes you in the belly, you can just snap their arm and, throw them down a flight of stairs. That's a little bit of an overreaction. But I guess what I'm trying to get at here is, why is this a problem that we don't want to address until it's too late? Like, why is this something that we don't want to see, we don't want to deal with until something happens, until a kid gets power bombed over a curb and breaks his hand or breaks his arm? Or, God forbid, that could have been a lot worse. That kid lands in his head funny and he's going to have a world of problems. All right? But at the end of the day, this needs to stop being a thing that we ignore until we can't ignore it. Okay? And I know that there are countless anti-bullying programs out there. I know one of the things that worked for me when I was younger was being a martial artist and taking martial arts. When I was physically being picked on, physically being accosted at school, I could defend myself. I was also bigger than most kids in my class, which in turn got me blamed. But that's another story for another time. Trying to stay on track here for you guys and not ramble on too much. So, different things, one of the things martial arts did for me, and this isn't a plug to send your kid to martial arts, but it's something that it did for me, is it helps you instill confidence in yourself and in your abilities and in you as a person. One of the other things it did was it taught me to help stand up for people who can't stand up for themselves. And I'm not going to sit here and claim to be a saint. I'm sure that there are people who are going to see this video who could easily call me out for, picking on them and bullying them and things of the sort. And it's something we all get trapped into. It's something we all get dragged into. Something that we all slum down there sometimes. And what I'm calling for is, sometimes when you do crack jokes and you are busting balls with somebody for whatever the reason, you may think you're having fun and you may think it's all in jest, and it's not, because they're not having a good time. And that's a thing. But I think as a society, we need to start learning to, if you see bullying, stand up to it. If you're in a school, if you're a teacher and somebody comes up to you and says, I'm being picked on, or you get a call from a parent and, hey, my son came home in tears for the third time this week, you need to try to do something to make it better. All right. If you're a student in a school and you see someone being picked on who can't stand up for themselves, stand up for them. You stand up and be the bigger person, be the better person. All right. And stop. The only thing we need in society for bad men to succeed is to have good men become indifferent, to stand by and watch it happen. All right. And again, this is me speaking from experience. There are times that I've been bullying and picking on people, and I didn't realize how bad it was, or like just how much of an asshole I was being, until I was told, until somebody said, like, hey man, listen, or somebody called me out, like, hey, quit being a fucking asshole, quit being a fucking bully to this person. Like, I thought I was just busting balls and having a little fun. I didn't think of it that way. And this is coming from someone who went through it, someone who was bullied, someone who was picked on as a kid. All right. So we need to be better. And to tell you how far this goes, we need to start this grassroots style. We need to start this with me and you, the average Joe, the run-of-the-mill asshole. You know why? Because I can tell you that I know a guy in this area who went to a local municipality, like a town government. They went to that same town's police department and school district and everything else and try to institute an anti-bullying campaign. And then through an event for the Chamber of Commerce and everything, for all these people to come and show their community support to prevent and stop bullying. And nobody came. Nobody showed up. This person spent months plugging and prodding at this and trying to get this thing off the ground. And you know who showed up? Nobody. But I'll bet you that's something you wouldn't hear at a town board meeting. It's not something you'd find out at a school board meeting. That, oh, we had a chance to instill this thing that's going to like bring safety and closure to our students, to our children, to the future of our country. Shit, the future of that town. And nobody could be bothered because it's not something we do until it becomes a problem. But I'll tell you what, the next time somebody in that school district hurts themselves or someone else because they're getting bullied, someone's going to look back and go, you know what? Maybe we should have listened to that dude. Maybe we should have worked on this anti-bullying thing. Maybe this is something we should have gone after. All right? So you know what? If the people in power don't want to do it, then it's time for the people to take back the power. All right? You, me, anybody else out there, you see someone being bullied. If you're bullying someone, flat out, cut it the fuck out. Be better. Be a better person. If you see someone being bullied, stand up. Stand the fuck up. All right? If you yourself are being bullied, stand up for yourself. Trust me, it's liberating. And if you can't, if you're somebody who just feels like you're just going to make it worse, if you yourself as a person do something, find someone to help you. There are ways. There are people. There are organizations. There are people who will listen and who do care. And you need to hear these words out of my mouth. There are always people who give a shit. Someone, some way, somewhere cares. And someone will help. And for everybody watching this, this is a small call to action. Be better. If you take two things from this episode, and I don't know, I'm not sure yet if I'm doing another segment here. So if you take anything from this episode, hashtag unfilter your life, hashtag be better. All right, guys. So I've decided after 4 segments, I'm going to wrap this up. I rambled a little longer than I wanted to on those last 2 sections. But I thought they were kind of big topics, and getting a little bit more in depth on them was important to me. So I want to thank everybody for watching episode 1 of the Joz of Life, and I want to thank you guys. Any kind of support. If you guys have any questions or anything, if you have me on Facebook or any form of social media, feel free to reach out, give me feedback, questions, topics you'd like to see covered, things like that. This has been a lot of fun. It's been a nice little vent sesh for me, and it's also been kind of cool setting this up and kind of trying to get it off the ground. So like I said, we're going to be starting stuff here, and I'm going to start running with the whole unfilter your life and be better thing. So you guys kind of help me expand myself and better myself a little bit too. So thanks for watching episode 1 of the Joz of Life. I'm the Nickel City Nightmare, Derek Joswiak. I'll see you next time.